everyone, welcome back. And in this video, I'll be giving you some information on what is microservices. So, microservices is something that all of us would have come across, okay? But there might be that one doubt what is actually a microservice. So, yes, I also had that doubt, and then after looking out and researching on what is a microservice, here is some information that I would like to share with you. So, let's get into it. So, microservice is an architectural design of software systems. So, as you need to think about it from like an architectural point of view, okay? So, imagine you have a system that every system when it's being designed or before being developed, you need definitely a system design. You need an architectural design being laid out. So, this is one way in which systems are designed architecturally. Okay, so it is built by decoupling various services of a software application into individual services. Okay, so you have a software. Okay, in traditionally, maybe much before microservices came into picture, we all know of applications that was just one application tightly, where every module or every service inside an application was very tightly coupled. Okay, when I say tightly coupled, it means that it was highly dependent on different processes within the system. Okay, which, because of this tightly coupled nature, okay, there were a lot of drawbacks. Imagine you putting all your eggs in one basket. If the basket is going to get damaged, then all your eggs are also going to get damaged. So similarly, that's one type of a drawback when you have a tightly coupled system. So in order to overcome that is when the individual services, they decoupled it into separate individual services, which are called as microservices. Okay, and each service is independent and can scale independently without other services. Okay, so when we say independent, it means that I will take it in further forthcoming points also. So just keep in mind that each service is independent and can scale independently. The next one is each service is a specialized service, example an entity. So it can be like a product service, order service, etc. So let's take, for example, our order management system. So in an order management system, you'll be having various entities or modules. One can be the product, one can be the order, then you'll have payments module, then you'll be having a delivery module, and so and so. So here, every service is going to consist of an entity. So here the product module will be taken out as a separate microservice, the order module will be taken out as a separate microservice, and so on. And all services communicate and interact with each other using APIs. So since all these services are decoupled, if they are decoupled, then you must be wondering how will they interact with each other. But there's a solution for that, which is APIs. So if you have not, if you don't know what is an API, or you want to know what are the different types of an API or how an API works, I've taken a video on that. You can click on the links given in the description box. So with this in mind about a microservice, the benefits of microservices are scaling and infrastructure. So keep this in mind also. I'll be taking an example and it will be much clearer. Independence and agility, freedom to use any technology, reliable compared to monolithic application. So let's take an example to understand all this better. So we have a monolithic application over here, and I said every service inside this application is tightly coupled to each other. Whereas when you look at the same system, okay, let's say it's an order management system, the same system is decoupled as different services or microservices. So here if you see, you have the order service, you have the account service, delivery service, and the product warehouse service. So all these are individual microservices. And how are they going to interact is via APIs. Okay, so now this is how the tightly coupled monolithic application is decoupled into services. And if you see here, everything is an individual entity. So order will not be mixed up with product, accounts won't be mixed up with an order, and so on. So everything is an independent entity and independent service. Now let's look at the benefits and compare it. So the first benefit that we seen was scaling and infrastructure. So let's say that in traditionally, okay, when one particular service, let's say a module, let's say the order service, needs more features to be added, okay, or it needs to be scaled up. So what happens? There's a single code for this entire monolithic application. So when you want to enhance the order module, definitely your code size would also increase, okay. But when you move to a microservice, let's say that you have the order service and only the order service needs some enhancements, then only the order service code will be updated. So keep in mind that every microservice over here has its own technology and has its own code repository, okay. It will not be interlinked with any other service. So only when a particular service needs enhancements, then only that service can acquire the required infrastructure, and also it can scale up without affecting other services, okay. The next point is independence and agility. So as I said, every microservice is independent and is not dependent on any other. Of course, you need information from another microservice. So every microservice will be independent, and also it will be more agile. So why I say agile is because imagine in a monolithic application, you're having this big team working on the entire application, and there's a lot of chaos, lot of confusion. Imagine dividing that entire application, dividing the teams and allowing teams to only focus on particular services. Yes, that's what microservices have adopted. So for every service there is a separate team who works on a service. So they work independently as well as they work in an agile manner. So the teams focus only on that particular service. Let's say a team is working on the order service. They would focus on the order service, the order services, support issues, any other deployment issues. They would only focus on that. They would focus on the enhancements coming in for only this order service. So by giving more attention to this individual service, the teams also would be able to work in a better manner. They would be able to adopt to new incoming changes and requirements and feedback. So that's why we say it's independent and it also adopts agile practices. The next one is freedom to use any technology. This was something that I found interesting. When you work with a monolithic application, generally you don't have the freedom to choose a separate technology for different modules. Usually it's one technology that has to be followed across all services. But with microservices, that's not the case. It's not the case of one technology needs to fit all services. Depending on the service, the team has the freedom to choose a technology that is most efficient for that particular service, okay. So that is what makes microservices having the benefits of you know um, technology freedom. And the last one is reliable compared to monolithic application. So as I said, since it's tightly coupled to each other, if one particular service fails, then it's going to create an impact on other services. But with microservices, that's not going to be the case. Okay, what is microservices? So I hope that you got some information on this. If you found this helpful, please do give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe, and also do share your feedbacks. Thank you.